touring the ruins of Greece and talking to the people there leaves you feeling bad for them. Sorry. They don't know who the bad guy is anymore. They're looking at the bankers and the elites who bankrupted them, and then they're looking at the protesters out in the streets, and they're burning up cars. They don't know what to do. I talk about this in a special that we're going to run probably later this week. Tiffany, at the end of this break, could you run that promo? I'll show you some of the video that we took in Greece. It's phenomenal. It's happening with the Italians. It's happening with the Greeks. It'll happen to us. There's a lot of good people, but they don't know whose side to be on. It's the same thing now with a lot of people with Occupy Wall Street. Yeah, well, I don't like what they're doing, but... The problem with Europe is they do not have the history that shows them the way out. Look at the history of Italy. I mean, it's filled with Mussolinis and fascism. It's filled. I mean, you go here, it's like right to Caesar. I mean, small government. They don't know where to even start. In fact, they're calling their movement the Tea Party movement. This is a shirt from the Tea Party in Italy. What this says is, the revolution has begun, less taxes, more freedom. But I talked to the organizers of the Tea Party, and they said, we didn't want to call it a Tea Party, but we don't have anything, we don't have an event in our history that we can go back to. I've never told you this story because it wasn't time yet, but I want to tell you, I was called this summer by a prime minister of one of the G8 countries. And he said, you're the father of the American Tea Party. And I said, no, I'm not. Well, we want to talk to you because I really want to sit with you because we need to start a Tea Party. I informed him there were two problems with this. One, I didn't start the Tea Party. And two, prime ministers don't start Tea Parties. That's not the way it works. I also was a little uncomfortable with Europe. Because Europe, go back to Mussolini, they don't have any model of small government. It's one of the reasons when I met with FreedomWorks about a year ago, I talked to them about getting the entire globe connected, not just Americans. Well, one of the meetings that I had this weekend was with FreedomWorks and people from Rome and Serbia and Milan and Germany and Austria and London, just to name a few of the people that were there. I have to tell you, some of these people, one guy, he came from Serbia, and he maxed out his credit card just to be there. He thought it was so important. I met him, and I wanted to say to him, how do you even know who I am? It was bizarre. And I was nervous to speak in front of them because people had come from Israel, and the guy with the credit card maxed out. I thought, oh, man, they're not going to understand this because it's Europe. And things left and right is different in Europe. Obama would be a centrist in Europe. That's how far left it is. And they won't understand small government, and faith has been crushed there for so long. Let me tell you something. Wow, did they get it. I mean, they proved me wrong. These guys were amazing. They are paying attention. They do know what the solution is. But they don't know. It's like this guy from Italy. He's like, we don't know of an icon to use. This isn't right, but we don't know what to use. We've got nothing. They are up against powerful opposition. The numerous NGOs that Soros has bought off are fanning across the globe, and they are not pitching capitalism to these countries. I talked to a guy from Georgia, and he says, we're pitching capitalism and freedom, and these NGOs are coming over here, and they're bashing it, and we don't know what to do. We have no friends. I told him, yes, you do. You have plenty. You have millions of friends. They're all in America. We have to help these people. And if the left has a global movement, it's time we do as well. I told you a year ago, I'm not sitting around anymore and waiting. It's just taking time. I don't have George Soros's money. I'm funding this all myself. It just takes time, and we're running out of it. We need to stand up together. We also saw Al Gore talking about restructuring capitalism. We just heard Supreme Court Justice say the U.S. Constitution is outdated, and she's more in favor of social justice and the South African Constitution. We know our own president goes around the world talking about all the mistakes in our flawed Constitution. Here are European Tea Partiers who are listening to these NGOs, and they're scratching their heads. They're saying, you guys don't get it. This is what got us into this mess. This is World War III. And those on the other side want more of this mess, not less. They need this to accomplish their goal, to fundamentally transform and restructure the rules of the game. And the guys who are at the very tippy top, the real power brokers, will become the new, well, the Russians. It's going to be massive corruption, the entire globe. And we need people like the guys in the Balkans who maxed out their credit card. Quite honestly, this weekend, I spent a lot of the budget for my new studio in Dallas. Might be a little sketchy for a while because I just spent that money. But I thought it was important to do. We need people like you to stand up before the whole world comes collapsing down. Stand on small government and on faith. In Europe, the faith has been beaten out of people. It's secular now. And God is being systematically replaced by big government. And it's happening here as well. But in the next few days, I'm going to give you details on now a global freedom and peace summit. The Tea Party is not big enough. It doesn't go far enough. It's not what we are. We are the new civil rights movement. We are a peace and freedom movement. This event is going to coincide with Restoring Love. I would ask that you would go to mercury1.com or .org right now and sign up to be a part of Restoring Love. And in the next few days, I want you to make sure you stay with me. And if you're a Tea Party, if you're a 912er, I need you to be down in Dallas this summer and learn from the Europeans and learn from the Tea Parties all around the globe, the freedom lovers all around the globe that are coming in. Learn from them and teach them. Because you can say, I want to be separate. I don't have anything to do with them, or they won't get it. You can say that all you want. But if we don't teach them how to restore love, that it is our personal responsibility to help our neighbors, all they understand is government doing it. If they don't have this faith piece, the world goes into darkness. We have to teach it. The shining city on the hill has been covered in cow dung. Don't hide your light. The people over in Italy got this. The people I talked to in Greece in the middle of the night, they got it. The Vatican recognizes it. You recognize it. Now it's time to put it into action. The time to stand is here. Help us build a global movement for peace and freedom. Back in a minute.